morning students. Hope you are all fine. Today we are going to see chapter 6 Physical and Chemical Changes in grade 7 science NCERT book. What is changes? Yes. Every day we across many changes in our surrounding. We have many substances around us. All these substances have certain properties such as state. State means yes, solid state, liquid state or gaseous state. And size, shape, color, smell, temperature, composition and structure. So, when one or more properties of a substance become different, when one or more properties of a substance become different, we say that a change has takes place in it. When one or more properties of substance become different, we call it as a change. Changes can be classified into two main types. One is a physical change, another one is a chemical change. There are two types of changes. One is a physical changes, another one is a chemical changes. First we'll see physical changes. When a change occurs only in the physical property of a substance, the change occurs only in a physical property are called as a physical change. Physical property means what? Yes, it's a size, shape, state, color, temperature, texture, volume. These all are called as a physical properties. Physical properties means size, shape, state, color, temperature, texture, volume. These all are called as a physical properties. When changes occur only in the physical property, we call it as a physical change. And in this physical change, no new substance is formed. In a physical change, no new substance is formed. Physical change may or may not be reversible. Physical change may reversible or may not be reversible. See this table. Few examples of physical changes are there. There is no new substance or formed. There is no new substance or formed. So these all are under the physical changes. First we will see melting of ice. Melting of ice. We know that one ice is in solid state. So melting means it's become liquid. It's become liquid. So state of ice from solid to liquid. So here which property is changed? Yes, state. This one we call it as a physical change. There is no new substance formed. Next one, drying of wet cloths. Which physical property changed here? Yes, state. How? Yes, dry cloth contains water in it. When we are drying under the sunlight, that water gets evaporate. How it's get evaporate? The water become a water vapor. It's become a water vapor. So here also state of water from liquid to water vapor. This also reversible change and there is no new substance formed. So this one is a example for physical change. Next one, cutting a paper. Next one, cutting a paper. Here which physical property changed? Yes, size and shape. How? If we are cutting means the size of the paper and also shape of the paper become change. So this one is a physical change. Next one, crushing of chalk into powder. So here which physical property changed? Yes, texture. So here the chalk become a powder. Next one, heating of food. Heating of food. Temperature of food changes. Here which physical property changed? Yes, temperature. Let's see an activity for physical change. Take a few ice cubes in a beaker. Keep them in a open for 4 to 5 minutes. See, first beaker containing ice, we are going to keep them in a open place for 4 to 5 minutes. What will happen? Yes, we will observe that ice changes into water. Here ice is in a solid state. It changes into liquid state. There is a change in the state of the ice from solid to liquid. Which physical property changed here? Yes, state. Now pour this water back into the ice tray. Now we are taking that water into ice tray and keep it in a freezer. What do you get? Yes, we get back the ice. Therefore, this is a physical change. Next example of physical change. Take a 10 ml of water in a beaker. Dissolve a spoon of sugar into it. What happened? Yes, we will get a solution of sugar and water. Now, heat this solution over a burner. See this picture. So, after dissolving that sugar, we are going to heat it. In burner. After some times, slowly the water evaporates and sugar is left at the bottom. So, this is a reversible change. So, we can get back the sugar again. And also, here this is a physical change. Next, we are going to see chemical changes. When a substance undergoes a change, its internal structure and a new substance is formed. When a substance undergoes a change, its internal structure and new substance is formed. It's called a chemical change. In a physical change, there is no internal change in it. No new substance also formed. But in a chemical change, internal structure and a new substance is formed. And properties of new substance are different from the properties of original substances. So the properties of new substance are different from the properties of original substances. Chemical changes cannot be reversed. They are permanent changes. Chemical changes cannot be reversed. They are permanent changes. Chemical changes occur as a result of some chemical reaction. Chemical changes occur as a result of some chemical reaction. During a chemical change, heat, gas or light produced. During the chemical change, heat, gas or light may be produced. Sometimes change in smell or color may also takes place. In chemical change, which substance undergo a change or called reactant? And we are getting a new substance, no, that one we call it as a product. The which substance undergoes a chemical change are called reactant, and the new substance is formed or called product. Chemical equation can be written as A plus B gives C plus D. A and B are reactant. When A substance react with B, it produce C and D. So, this A and B are reactants. A and B are called it as a reactants, and C and D are called as a products. C and D are called as products. Now we'll see some chemical changes in substance. First one, burning of paper. Burning of paper is a chemical change. How? Because it's produce new substances. Which are the new substances? When we are burning that paper, it produce ash and carbon dioxide. Ash and carbon dioxide. These two are new substances, and these two properties are different from the property of paper, and also it's a irreversible change. We cannot get back the paper from the ash and carbon dioxide, so it's called as a chemical change. Next one, cooking of food with different ingredients. Cooking of food with different ingredients. We are getting a cooked food, so this one is a new substance. We are adding few substances to make a dish. So these two properties are different, and we cannot get back the ingredients from the cooked dish. So this one is a chemical change. Next one, composting of leaves and food. It's become a manure. Both the properties are different, and also this is a irreversible change, so it's called as a chemical change. Next one, photosynthesis by plants. So in a photosynthesis, it's take carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll and sunlight. It produces a food formation in a plant. That food is a glucose. Both are having a different properties. We cannot get back the carbon dioxide, water, sunlight and chlorophyll from the glucose, so it's called as a chemical change. Next one, acid and base react in a neutralization reaction. So when acid and base react to produce salt and water, we cannot get back the acid and base from the salt and water, so it's a new substance. Both the properties are different, so this one is a chemical change. Next one, bursting of firecrackers. So when we are cracking that one, it's produce heat, light and gas, so we cannot get back the crackers from that heat, light and gas. So both the properties are different, so this one also best example for chemical change. Students, let me ask a question. If you cut an apple and leave it for some time, what will happen? Yes, the cut portion turns brown. That cut portion turns brown. Why it's happened? Yes, this is because when the cut surface is exposed to the oxygen in the air, it undergoes a chemical change. So that cut surface react with oxygen in the air and undergoes a chemical change. So the cut surface looks darker in color. This chemical change is irreversible. We'll see some examples of chemical changes. First we'll see burning of magnesium. For this change, take a thin strip or a ribbon of magnesium. And clean its surface with the sandpaper. Heat it on the flame and observe. What will happen? It burns with a bright white light. Leaves behind a powdery ash called magnesium oxide. It leaves a powdery ash called magnesium oxide, a new substance. Burning of magnesium ribbon is a chemical change. When magnesium burns with oxygen, it produces magnesium oxide. When magnesium burns with oxygen, it produces magnesium oxide. See here, chemical equation. Magnesium chemical formula is Mg. Oxygen we know O2. So when magnesium burns with oxygen, it produces magnesium oxide, MgO. This is a chemical equation for burning of magnesium. When magnesium burns with oxygen, it produces magnesium oxide. Magnesium chemical formula Mg, oxygen O2. It produces magnesium oxide, that is MgO. And collect that magnesium oxide, add few drops of water in it. It produces a new substance that is called magnesium hydroxide. See, magnesium oxide formula MgO and water formula is H2O. It produces magnesium hydroxide, MgOH2. That is the formula of magnesium hydroxide. When magnesium oxide react with water, it produces MgOH2. This is called as a magnesium hydroxide. This magnesium hydroxide we are going to test with blue and red litmus paper. There is no change in blue litmus paper. When we are dip red litmus paper in it, it changes into blue color. Red litmus paper turns blue. So this one shows it's a magnesium hydroxide is a basic in nature. This one shows the magnesium hydroxide is basic in nature. Next one, reaction between baking soda and vinegar. This is also chemical change. For this chemical change, we need baking soda and vinegar. Add a pinch of baking soda to 10 ml of vinegar in a test tube. Add a pinch of baking soda to 10 ml of vinegar in a test tube. After adding a baking soda, we can hear a hissing sound. And see bubbles forming So this one provide a new substance that is called a carbon dioxide. It's called as a carbon dioxide. See, when we are adding baking soda to 10 ml of vinegar, these baking soda and vinegar are reactants. Baking soda and vinegar, or we call it as a reactant. Baking soda formula is sodium hydrogen carbonate, NaHCO3, sodium hydrogen carbonate, or else we can tell sodium bicarbonate. These two, baking soda and vinegar, react to produce carbon dioxide. The chemical formula of carbon dioxide is CO2. This carbon dioxide is a product. Why it's produce a hissing sound? It release carbon dioxide. When baking soda and vinegar react to produce carbon dioxide. Now we can carry out another chemical change by using the carbon dioxide gas produced in the reaction between baking soda and vinegar. We prepared carbon dioxide gas by adding baking soda to vinegar in a test tube. Take some freshly prepared lime water in another test tube. Pass this carbon dioxide gas through lime water by using a glass delivery tube as shown in a figure. See that left side test tube, it's contain baking soda and vinegar. It produces carbon dioxide gas. That gas flow through that tube to reach the right side test tube that contains lime water. Lime water, also called as calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide formula is CaOH2. Calcium hydroxide also called as a lime water. When this calcium hydroxide react with carbon dioxide carbon dioxide formula CO2, it produce calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate formula is CaCO3, and then it produce water. That is a H2O. When calcium hydroxide react with carbon dioxide, it produce calcium carbonate and water. This calcium carbonate is white solid substance. The reaction between lime water and carbon dioxide gas is a chemical change because a new substance, calcium carbonate, is formed. That is a white solid substance. Turning of lime water milky is used as a standard test for carbon dioxide. This turning of lime water milky is used as a standard test for carbon dioxide. This is because only carbon dioxide gas can turn lime water milky by forming a white precipitate of calcium carbonate. Only carbon dioxide gas can turn lime water milky by forming a white precipitate of calcium carbonate. No other gas can turn lime water milky. See this picture. So calcium hydroxide. Calcium hydroxide formula is CaOH2. This calcium hydroxide also called as lime water. And then this calcium hydroxide react with carbon dioxide. Formula of carbon dioxide is CO2. We are getting this carbon dioxide from reaction between baking soda and vinegar. So by this reaction we are getting a new substance that is called carbon dioxide. We are using that carbon dioxide to this reaction. We are adding this carbon dioxide to calcium hydroxide. It turns the lime water to milky. How it's turned this lime water to milky? Yes, it's produce a new substance. It's called as a calcium carbonate. The formula of calcium carbonate is CaCO3. This one is a white substance. It's white solid substance. And then it produce water. Water formula is H2O. So calcium hydroxide react with carbon dioxide to produce white solid substance is called calcium carbonate. It's make a lime water look milky and produce water. This is also chemical change because it's produce a new substance and also irreversible reaction. Next we'll see reaction between copper sulfate solution and iron. Reaction between copper sulfate solution and iron. When an iron object like iron nail is kept immersed in the blue color solution of copper sulfate, then a chemical change takes place to form green color iron sulfate solution and a brown deposit of copper on the iron object. This is a chemical change. See this picture. First test tube contain copper sulfate solution, that is blue in color. We are going to put iron nail in the copper sulfate solution. This copper sulfate solution and iron nail react to produce iron sulfate solution, that is green in color. So this blue color copper sulfate solution turns to green color because of reaction between copper sulfate solution and iron nail. It produce iron sulfate solution, that is in green color, and also it's produce a copper. It's deposit on the iron nail. The copper is deposit on the iron nail. This one is a chemical change because copper sulfate react with iron to produce iron sulfate and copper. So this iron sulfate and copper are new substances. So this one is a call it as a chemical change. It's a irreversible change. It produces a new substance. Now we'll see chemical equation for this reaction. Copper sulfate solution. Copper sulfate solution formula is CuSO4. CuSO4 is a copper sulfate and it react with iron. Iron formula is Fe. Iron formula is Fe. When this copper sulfate and iron, copper sulfate CuSO4, it react with iron Fe, it produce iron sulfate solution. It produce iron sulfate solution, that is FeSO4. Iron sulfate formula is FeSO4 and then it produce copper. Copper formula is Cu. When copper sulfate solution, this is a blue in color, the formula of copper sulfate solution is CuSO4. CuSO4. It react with iron. Iron formula is Fe. It's gray in color. Iron is gray in color. Formula is Fe. When this copper sulfate solution and then iron react to produce iron sulfate solution. It produce iron sulfate solution, that is green in color. Formula of iron sulfate solution is FeSO4. FeSO4 is a iron sulfate solution. It's green in color and then copper is deposited on the iron nail, that is brown in color. Copper formula is Cu. This is a reaction between copper sulfate and iron. It produces a new substance. It's called as a iron sulfate. It's green in color. Formula of iron sulfate is FeSO4 and also it produces copper. Copper formula is Cu. This is a chemical change. It's a irreversible change and copper sulfate and iron react to produce a new substances, iron sulfate and copper. So this one we call it as a chemical change. Next, importance of chemical change. Metals are extracted from the ores by the chemical change. Next, medicines are prepared by carrying out a chain of chemical change. Chain of chemical change. Medicines also prepared by chemical change. And every new material is discovered by the chemical change. The materials such as soap, plastic, detergents, perfume, acids, bases and salt all are made by the chemical change, made by the reaction of chemical change. Now we'll see difference between physical and chemical changes. Now we'll see main difference between physical and chemical changes. First one, physical change. In physical change, no new substance is formed. In physical change, no new substance is formed. In chemical change, a new substance is formed. In chemical change, a new substance is formed. Physical change, no new substance is formed. In chemical change, a new substance is formed. Next one, in physical change, a physical change is a temporary change. A physical change is a temporary change. Chemical change is a permanent change. Chemical change is a permanent change. Physical change is a temporary change. Chemical change is a permanent change. Next one, physical change is easily reversible. Physical change is easily reversible. Chemical change is usually irreversible. Chemical change is irreversible. Physical change is reversible. Next one, very little energy is absorbed or given out in the physical change. Very little energy is absorbed or given out in physical change. In chemical change, a lot of energy is absorbed or given out. In a chemical change, a lot of energy is absorbed or given out in a chemical change. Students, do you know one thing? When a candle burns, both physical and chemical changes takes place in it. Both the physical and chemical changes takes place in it when the candle is burns. When a candle burns, melting of wax is the physical change. When a candle is burned, melting of wax is the physical change, and burning of wax is the chemical change. Melting of wax is the physical change, burning of wax is the chemical change. Similarly, changes can be seen in eating food. Chewing of food is physical change and digestion of food is chemical change. When candle is burned, the wax is melting. That one is a physical change because the melted wax is a physical change. It's a reversible change, and burning of wax produce dust or residue plus carbon dioxide. So this is a chemical change. We cannot get back the wax from that one. Next one, ozone layer. The ozone layer protects us from the harmful ultraviolet radiation which comes from the sun. The ozone layer protects us from the harmful ultraviolet radiation which come from the sun. Ozone absorbs ultraviolet radiation comes from the sun and breaks down to form oxygen. In this way, ozone layer absorbs harmful ultraviolet radiation coming from the sun and prevent them from reaching the earth. The breaking down of ozone into oxygen is a chemical change. The breaking down of ozone into oxygen is a chemical change. If ultraviolet radiation were not absorbed by ozone layer, they would reach the earth's surface and cause harmful to us and other living things. Ultraviolet radiation can cause skin cancer, damage our eyes and plants. The ozone layer is the atmosphere act as a natural protective seal. The ozone layer is act as a natural protective shield. Next we'll see rusting of iron. Rusting is a chemical change that takes place when iron metal comes in contact with air. Rusting is a chemical change that takes place when iron metal comes in contact with air and water. During this chemical change, new substance iron oxide is formed, which is commonly called rust. This iron oxide is commonly called as a rust. Rusting is a chemical change that takes place when an iron metal comes contact with air and water. It gets covered with red-brown flaky substance. Red-brown flaky substance. That one we call it as a rust. When iron formula Fe, it's react with oxygen. It contact with oxygen, that is O2, and water H2O. It produce iron oxide Fe2O3 and H2O. This is called as a rust, iron oxide. Rusting is a chemical change because it's produce a new substance is called iron oxide. Almost every iron object kept in the open gets rusted slowly. We can usually see the rusted iron gates of parks and iron benches kept it in the garden, which always remaining in the open. Agricultural tools also get rusted when exposed to the atmosphere. We can also usually see the formation of rust on iron grills, iron rails, iron pipes, iron nails, old cars, bicycles and steel bridges. See this one, when iron is exposed with oxygen and water, it produces iron oxide, that is we call it as a rust, Fe plus O2 plus H2O. These three react to produce Fe2O3 dot H2O. This is called as the iron oxide. It's also called as a rust. This is the equation for rusting of iron. Rusting of iron is faster in coastal region. Do you know why? Yes, because the air in these areas contains more water vapor. So coastal areas air contains more water vapor. So it's get rusting faster. And salt in water also make the process of rust formation faster. So in coastal area air containing water and also salt in it, so it's make rusting faster in coastal area. Ships are made of iron, and since most part of the ship stays under the sea water, is rusted very quickly. So this is the reason for rusting faster in coastal areas. We can prevent this rusting by some methods. We can see this method. First one is painting or greasing. Painting or greasing. Applying a layer of paint or grease prevent the iron surface from coming in contact with air and water vapor. So by this way we can prevent the rusting. Applying the layer of paint or grease on the iron surface protect the rusting. Next one, so we are using paint to windows, iron furnitures and iron bridges to prevent the rusting. Next one, chrome plating or galvanization. Chrome plating or galvanization. The process of coating iron with a layer of chromium is known as chrome plating. We are applying chrome on the iron. It protects the rusting. So taps, bicycle handles and car bumpers are also usually chrome plated. Next one is galvanization. The process of depositing a layer of zinc. We are depositing a zinc on the iron. It's called as a galvanization. Iron pipes used at home to carry water are galvanized. Which are the pipes we used to carry water? That kind of pipes are galvanized. Galvanized means we are depositing the zinc on the iron materials. Next one, alloying. Alloying means the process of mixing one or more metals to form a new substance is called alloy. The process of mixing one or more metals to form a new substance is called alloying. Stainless steel is a alloy. It's made by mixing of iron with carbon and metal like chromium, nickel and manganese. So stainless steel is a alloy. It's made by mixing iron with carbon and metals like chromium, nickel and magnesium. Alloy do not rust at all. Now we'll see last topic from this lesson. That one is a crystallization. The process of cooling a hot concentrated solution of substance to obtain crystal is called crystallization. The process of cooling a hot concentrated solution of a substance to obtain crystals is called crystallization. The process of crystallization is used to obtain large crystals of pure solid substance from the impure solid substance. A impure solid substance usually contains two types of impurities. One is a insoluble impurities, another one is a soluble impurities. The soluble impurities are removed by filtering. Its soluble impurities get removed during crystallization. Now we'll see to obtain pure copper sulfate crystals from copper sulfate powder. Take water in a beaker and add few drops of diluted sulfuric acid. Diluted sulfuric acid formula is H2SO4. Heat it on the burner. And add the copper sulfate powder slowly while stirring continuously. So we are going to add this copper sulfate powder slowly. Continue adding the copper sulfate powder till no powder can be dissolved. Filter this saturated solution and allow it to cool without disturbing it. We are going to allow it to cool without disturbing it. We can see large copper sulfate crystals at the bottom of the bowl. We can see the large copper sulfate crystals at the bottom of the bowl. This one we call it as a crystallization. Crystallization means what? The process of cooling a hot concentrated solution of substance to obtain crystals is called crystallization. It's a physical change. Okay students, we completed this lesson. You have to read these topics in your NCERT book. We will see next lesson in our next class. Students, stay home, stay safe. Thank you.